So we are currently at the Geekom booth at IFA 2025 where they're showing off quite a few things, but there's one that's kind of the big highlight of this year, which I think you're going to find rather interesting. They're showing off this right here, which looks a lot like a Mac Mini. Pretty much the same dimension and everything, but this right here is the A9 Mega. What makes it special is the fact that it used the brand new AI Max 395 from AMD. And obviously while they're prioritizing how much you can use it for AI with its 50 tops, yada yada yada, obviously the big star of the show is just the fact that it's a nice, really powerful portable PC, so you can pair it with something like this and have something pretty decent to use on the go. So let's see exactly how good it actually is. They do have Cinebench R23 pre-installed here. It is only R23, so whatever. But for a quick and dirty test to see exactly how fast the 395 is, and as you can see, we are almost already done. With our final score there being 34,585. But you know me, there is something I have to try here, which I thankfully have pre-installed. This is going to be the real test for this thing. We are running with integrated graphics, obviously. With the Radeon 8060S graphics, this is what it comes with. Though, given how it does have 40 gigabit USB Type-C at the back, you could probably just add in some additional external graphics card as well. However, it does not have Oculink. So you won't be able to do anything with Oculink, which is a bit of a shame, but I mean, that is a very small, I know not a lot of you will actually care about Oculink, so whatever. Let's just go into here, let's ray tracing off and then everything else on high, and we'll see exactly how good it is going to be. And also we'll turn off motion blur. I know it's just a test, but like, whatever, it's for the principle. We are getting already 82 FPS, 84 FPS in the starting scene. I am genuinely impressed at max settings. And granted, we are running at a fairly low resolution, but this is also meant for portable setups like this, where you usually won't have higher resolution displays. You probably won't have like a 4K monitor like this. However, if you wanted to use it for, say, a desktop solution, then I mean, you could probably be using something that's 1440p or 4K nowadays. And then it may obviously struggle a bit more, given how here in this kind of outside scene, we dip into the high 60s. Okay, I'm going all in on Psycho. I'm not doing path tracing though. That is actually just a waste of mine and yours time on this kind of system. I was expecting worse. Pretty much locked at 22, I went down to 21, now 20. That ain't bad, little guy. That ain't bad. Running it with FSR plus FrameGen, which will be, let's be honest, how most people will be running a game on this kind of system anyway. And look at this. I didn't change any of the graphical settings. We're still running ray tracing here, guys. You're getting 80 FPS here, all in max settings without path tracing, but everything else is max at 1920 by 1200 on this tiny thing. I am actually pretty impressed by this. However, for the lulz, and because they haven't kicked me out of here just yet for spending so much time benchmarking, let's turn on path tracing and let's see this thing actually melting. Yeah, okay, that's about what I expected. 40 FPS, kind of stuttery. You can probably just see it here in the image. It is really warming up now as well. The other thing we have to talk about here is the memory situation. Now this thing features a whopping 128 gigabytes of memory total soldered onto the motherboard itself. That's why you see the form factor here as other. That also means that it is not user replaceable in any way or upgradable. You're stuck with it, though given how it is 128 gigs, then I guess you probably won't have to replace it anyway. Though you may notice this, we are only getting 32 gigs here in the memory tab. Well, that's because the rest of it is dedicated to just the GPU. 96 gigabytes just to the GPU. And again, we are talking about onboard graphics here. Why? Well, again, for the use of AI. All of those LLMs obviously need a lot of video memory. But of course, if you're doing video editing, if you're doing gaming at high resolutions, then all of that VRAM is also gonna come in helpful there. But you're probably wondering about one thing. Well, how much is that all gonna cost you? It is still being crowdfunded and it's going to cost you $1,900. However, after that, it's going to go up to $2,100. And then in terms of availability, well, it's pretty much when it is ready. So would you ever consider getting one of these? Well, let me know down in the comments below. It certainly is an impressive little box, though honestly, when you're out and about, I'd rather just go for a laptop, and for a desktop, I'd rather just go for a big tower case myself. So I can't see myself using it too much, but if you really need a form factor, I think it is pretty awesome. If, of course, you can, well, if your wallet can survive that price. So again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and maybe check out Patreon as well, because I mean, a single $1 a month truly goes a long way. Plus, huge thanks to our patrons, Gavin Burns, Tristan Ray, Jello Vroniak, Balash Roka, Badr Harrison, Noah Sulinim, Mexam, and Shane Allcraft. But anyway, that's what it is. I hope you enjoyed this video from the Geekom booth here at IFA 2025. If you did, make sure to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.